On this week's Throwdown, we have mindless Mia, who likes to walk into bikes, demoing the workout.
We have deadlifts, handstand push-ups, squat cleans, and handstand walks.
We release these workouts right here on YouTube every Thursday at 1 p.m.
Join our entire community to practice the skill of competing.
Use the next 2 days to plan a strategy, grab some friends, and throw down on Saturday.
See where you stack up each week on our Throwdown leaderboard. It's free to sign up. Go to trainingthinktank.com/throwdown.
This week's Throwdown is, for time, 30 deadlifts at 135-95, 10 kipping handstand push-ups, 20 deadlifts, weight goes up to 225-155, 20 kipping handstand push-ups, 10 deadlifts at 315 and 205, and then 30 kipping handstand push-ups. After that, you're gonna go right into 9 squat cleans, 225, 155, 50-foot handstand walk, 7 squat cleans, 50-foot handstand walk, 5 squat cleans, ends with a 50-foot handstand walk. You have a 12-minute time cap, change your own weights.
And have fun. We have 2 movement standards of note. For the handstand walk, we're gonna do the open standard, so hands behind the line in 5-foot segments. And then for the handstand push-ups, it's a 36 by 24-inch box, and make sure that your feet are together at the top of each rep.
I'm back. That way we don't have to do 50 takes like Mike when he's making fun of me. This week's demo is Mia. You guys all know Mia as an athlete. She is taller than average. She's been on a sanctional level team, and she's pretty good.
Mediocre.
She's mediocre elite.
How was the North Pole?
It was good.
All right. We have a camp coming up,
Yeah, you're
right,
supposed to do the
Brandon?
camp.
Oh, yeah. Should I just say go to Training Think
Yeah,
Tank?
trainingthinktank.com/camps is where it is.
That's next week. So can I say we have a camp
It's
next?
October 10th and 11th.
Okay.
Also this week in the classroom, I did a series breaking down toes to bar. I looked over some elite athletes, talked about some of the statistics in the sport, and gave some training examples that you can improve your toes to bar in there.
So wait, can you talk about North Pole now?
I didn't go to the damn North Pole. I had COVID.
Let's go see my strategy.
All right, what's your strategy?
My
But first, what's this?
I got in a fight with an assault bike. You should see the other guy. My strategy is to come out pretty hot on the first part. My handstand walks under fatigue are definitely one of my weaker movements, so I want to bank as much time as I can. So I'm going to push the handstand push-ups, push the deadlifts, try to give myself more time on the handstand walks. Once they start to break down, I'm going to try to hold myself to a 10-second rest in between. Max just yelled at me. 10-second rest when I come down, and try to just not feel bad about myself and keep moving on those.
Yeah. Should we talk about during the demo Mia's inability to see what's in her surroundings?
The best part about that, you guys didn't get to see it, but Mia, everybody runs out and Mia's like, I'm okay. Oh, so
This is
good.
my most graceful moment. There's a puppy behind me, so I was looking at it. What do you expect?
That's definitely the highlight of your tenure at Training Think Tank. That's the most value you've contributed.
Oh, man. Well, this workout doesn't matter anymore. So this first bar is pretty light. Did it feel easy for you, comfortable to go fast?
Yeah, the bar was fine. What I didn't expect was how much hamstring fatigue was going to affect me on the kip, on the handstand push-up. Like, that was my limiter on handstand push-ups until the second half of the set of 30.
I definitely noticed that in any deadlift handstand push-up combo, but especially the open workout that started with Diane and then moved into 315. That 315 felt so heavy after doing the kipping and the deadlifts paired together.
Yeah, that's one of the things that most of my athletes I didn't expect the kip to get fatigued or like feel my hamstrings in that, but that is something that maybe we should think about when we train. So it's easy the first set, 10 reps.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's the handstands go up. So Mia, I know that you did the workout already. You can tell people, is there a point to break that first set or think about how you would strategize at 20 and 30?
If you're limited on handstand push-ups and you know that you're going to break down a lot, then yes, I would break it up. For me, kipping is, for my height, I think I'm fairly good at them. And I knew that I could push the beginning and still get through the set of 30 fairly well. And I also knew that I had built-in rest breaks with the plate changes that I could use. So I was banking on breaking up the 20 and the 30 for the plate changes.
Yeah.
So knocking out those first 10, I think, was fine.
And what's his second deadlift weight?
This is 155, 225 for guys.
So how did this feel after the kipping handstand push-ups? See you shaking your legs out there.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of always feel like that during deadlifts. It definitely wasn't bad. I did 3 sets just to like try to keep them quick. I was kind of thinking of 20.3 when there was the set of 21. I did 777 quick and got out of there. So this was 776, but that's just what I did.
What do you think the biggest separator in this workout is?
Well, I think it's the second bar, the squat cleans and the handstand walks. But obviously, it's just like 20.3. If you're not fast enough on the first part, it's really hard to make up a ton of time on the second part. So you saw the best males and females in that workout. They were still like 230 to 245 Dianes, and then they just were able to kind of cruise through the next part. But I do think that for those that are limited, like Mia said, you talk about 20 kipping handstand push-ups and 30 kipping handstand push-ups. For some people, it's going to be very challenging. So coming up with a strategy beforehand that's going to allow you to move quickly through those is going to make a lot of difference, or a big difference.
Yeah.
So the standard is the feet together at the top. I found it pretty easy to touch my toes together. So I'd come down with a flex foot and then come up together and touch my toes, and that felt super natural.
One thing that you actually pointed out, and it helped me a lot, is when we had that standard. When we had that standard, I'd keep my feet together through the kip just to like stop me from having to think about it, but it makes the kip so much less efficient. So going wide and kicking my feet in definitely makes a big difference. So
yeah, I like
you can
that
notice that she does that. I think that's the only time you should think about your feet touching is at the top.
Right.
I love this standard compared to what we've had to do with the line. Excuse me. So I think this is something, we have to test all of them, because if the line comes back out where you measure your forearm or whatever, you have to be good enough at that. But this still tests some athleticism to get your feet together, but it also allows you to keep moving and not have to think about, I have to extend, and hold it for a second or whatever it may be.
As a training tool too, practicing doing that translates into a line pretty damn well.
Sure.
Because you have to kind of straighten your legs and get them together, which makes you much taller than if your legs are spread out apart. So it might not be perfect relative to a line, but it's easier to judge and seems to transfer over pretty well.
So for all of my friends at home, you notice that Mia changed the weights in between the handstand push-ups. I don't know what your rep scheme was. Was it like 12-8 or 10-10?
Yeah, I went over halfway.
Yeah.
And then change plates and then finish them.
Being a workout where you have to change your own weights, which is kind of no longer a standard in the open, but you never know if it's going to come back out. That's a really good strategy. That's your built-in rest break, like Mia already said, for the handstand push-ups. The one thing that I would say is make your transitions back to the wall fast, and really think about your movement speed then too. If you're going to take rest, try to make your movement a little bit faster so that you're saving some time there.
What about this camera angle Chris has?
Oh my goodness. You're a professional,
a
Chris.
wizard.
So that's the set of 30.
You're just like tucked in the corner behind the handstand ramp. Yeah, it's pretty,
So good.
It's pretty elite.
That was a set of 30, and I opened with 12, change a plate, and then I was gonna go back, change another plate. It definitely makes your rest feel justified when you have a plate change.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to spend that time anyway, at some point. So if you know you have to break, it might just be a good time to do it. I know a lot of people will change both their plates and then break their handstand push-ups and rest anyway. Seems like you just add rest by doing that.
Yeah, and even for those that can go unbroken, it may just make sense to break while you change your plate, or change one side like Mia did, and then again, pick up the overall pace on the actual movement, and then obviously you can change the other side before you do, the squat cleans or if you're doing your last set of deadlifts.
All right, are you into the cleans now?
I have one more set of handstand push-ups.
Oh, look at this slow, deliberate transition, rest break.
Yeah, how much are you going to break up your handstand push-ups here in your set of 30?
I'll probably do it unbroken.
I didn't count your reps. What were your sets there?
I did 12, 10, and I believe this is 8 to finish.
Nice.
So they felt pretty good. I was thinking that I would do it in 2 sets, but I don't think it was too big of an issue to do it in 3.
Relative to somebody at full speed, just something to think about. If somebody's racing handstand push-ups, Mia's lockout is pretty deliberate, and then she had a couple periods where she rested her head on the ground. Those are little things that like rep per second can really play a big role. If you look at somebody who's like very elite at kipping handstand push-ups and barbell cycling versus, I'll call you pretty elite.
That's better. Last time you called me mediocrely, so I think I've progressed a little bit. So this was disgusting. I thought this workout was harder than 20.3 because of the squat cleans.
Yeah.
Man, I did not expect them to be this hard.
Was it mostly just back fatigue?
Yeah, my back got more tired doing this than if I would have kept doing 205 deadlifts.
Yeah, I think that happens. I think just having to stay super extended and deep hip flexion under load when you're already tired in your back, that tends to happen with me as well. Or pairing something like thrusters and deadlifts, and then going into handstand walks as well, which is pretty hyperextended.
Yeah, the weight is lighter on the first barbell with the deadlifts, but it's still 60 deadlifts.
Yeah.
So and in a pretty dense period. So I think you got to think about that and then kind of have a strategy for how you're going to attack these squat cleans.
So were you just doing this by feel? You're obviously not facing the clock, so.
Yeah, I was trying to be aggressive on them, and then when I would kind of have to like grind out of the bottom, which didn't look like I was doing, but I felt like I was doing, I would take a little bit longer of a rest. But I was definitely trying to push them because I knew the handstand walk was going to take me a while.
It's so funny the difference between feel and real.
Yeah.
Like it always feels like, wow, this is so slow, but really your reps look pretty good so far.
I felt like my chest was so far forward and I was going to dump the bar. But I mean, 9 reps is... That's a lot.
Yeah, no, that's just enough I have to pace this a little bit more than I want to, for sure. Yeah, I think the key here for those that they struggle with the squat cleans is figure out a cadence that allows you to get back on the bar. One of the things that I love is like you do your squat clean, you take that half step back, 1 deep breath, and then step back into the bar, almost forcing yourself to get back on the bar.
So that rest break there was about 12 seconds. I think that's still pretty good. I think some people who are more confident in handstand walking would probably just kick up.
Yeah.
But
I struggle a lot with handstand walking under fatigue. I don't really know what the issue is, but I already handstand walk slow, and then when I get tired, I get even more vertical, and I just get like stuck upside down.
Yeah, you sometimes you lose forward momentum and end up just standing in a handstand.
Yeah. So I had Ryan counting 10-second rest breaks for me here. 25 feet when I'm this tired just doesn't feel real, so I just went into it. I'm going to go 15-10 and try to keep the 10-second break, which for me, that's just what I have right now. But I lost a lot of time on these compared to somebody who is going to be fast through these 50 feet.
So just as a frame of perspective, she did 15 feet in about 9 seconds there. You can do 25 feet in 6 seconds if you're walking pretty fast on your hands. Even on that, Noah can do that.
Yeah,
even under
he's
fatigue.
done it under 5 seconds. I've timed some of his when he's been in town. So obviously he's world class, and there are others that walk that fast. I think there's kind of 2 things to think about. One, if you're really good at handstand walks, regardless of how good your squat clean is, get that out of the way as quickly as possible, right? Yeah. And then take your rest break before the squat clean. 2, if you're like Mia, who can really move the barbell, but maybe you have to do something, break up the handstand walks, come up with a strategy that Mia did, where it's, I'm gonna go 15 as fast as I can, then take my 10-second break, then finish the 10, so that you're moving the entire time.
So you're turning over the barbell still pretty good here. Do you think just taking a little bit longer on the handstand that this set felt easier, or did this set feel worse?
It did not feel easier. My back was so tight at this point.
Lower back.
Yeah, my lower back. And even on the handstand walk, when in 20.3, my back doesn't really feel that bad during the handstand walk, but the squat cleans made it much worse.
Yeah, and I think that's something that, especially if you're not used to doing that many deadlifts before this, squat cleans in general are tough for most people, especially going upside down. You're getting into that really overextended state, then coming back and trying to flex really quickly. For those that are not comfortable with deadlifts, though, you really have to come up with a strategy of how you want to attack these. I would look at the clock. Mia, you're doing it off field, but you've done this for a long time. For most people, it's probably, you got to be a little bit more deliberate about every 12 seconds, I'm just going to try to get on the bar. And then obviously if you start failing, that's when you kind of modify.
Yeah, let's see. So she finished that at 41. Let's see what her normal rep cadence is. Long setup, so about 9 seconds. And something to consider too is when you're in that type of a state, if you just stay tall and when you're ready to go, just go down and grab the bar, you can end up saving a lot of time just literally on the setup. Yeah. I know that's something that Travis does pretty well.
I was
that
about
I've
to
seen.
say,
He
Travis
just kind of
is
goes
really
down
good
and
at
grabs
that.
the bar and picks it up from a standing position, whereas Noah's kind of like set one hand, set the other hand, and go. Something to consider that could affect specific workouts.
So again, 15 feet. Let's see, 4 seconds, 5. Is Ryan counting this
He's
one out for
counting.
you?
He's
Yeah,
telling me
okay.
exactly when to
Cool.
go. So
So
holding
he's
to that
half
10
judge, half
second.
coach.
Yep.
Good job, Ryan.
Brian's my favorite judge because he makes me feel good.
Is that what makes a good judge?
He helps
That's what I
me.
need.
He counts my rests, tells me when to go. And what's interesting is, obviously I'm about to get capped. If this were to be translated over to 20.3, this is like exactly where I got capped on 20.3, was
Yeah.
on the second handstand walk.
I mean, that might be a good just pace model for people
Right.
as you think about. I would have no rep that your finger was over the line.
I didn't get that last 5 feet anyway, so yeah.
Ryan's like, yeah, whatever. Good job, Mia. I know that was tough.
Yes. Project
That's
Pat.
a great angle.
What it do, what it is, what it do.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Pata in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button, let it be known, what it be known, what it be known, you know what I'm saying? Pata.